Take some time off.
I wish I could, but I owe the team a new draft.
We're not gonna get it out in time.
You shouldn't talk to your boss like that.
Control Freak is a horror film starring a motivational speaker with a relentless itch in the back of her head. What about this project first stuck out to you all and made you want to be a part of this film?
I wanted to bring this movie to life, and it just thought it, it started out with something more about being the itch, and then it developed into this other storyline that I thought was interesting and relatable, and that I could find a way into. And yeah,
Yeah, I think I just wanted to explore generational trauma in the form of a horror movie. Uh, and I had a great time working with these guys. So
And I wanted to go to Kentucky, and and I know, I think Kelly's a fantastic actor, and I was really excited to work with her first and foremost. But also, I thought that the part was a great place to be a little a support both to my fellow actor and to the character in the film. I like supporting my friends.
And Shal, can you tell us more about the inspiration behind Control Freak and its journey from a short film to a feature film?
sure, yeah. The short was very much inspired by like a real life event where someone, where a woman actually scratched a hole into their head, and got me thinking a lot about, different issues around control, obsession, addiction, those kind of things. And the script went through a lot of different forms. In the transition from short to feature, the short's almost like a fake documentary in a way. But when you expand it to be 90 to 120 minutes, you need to have an actual character with a compelling objective and point of view and transformation and all of that. So it went, Val was a computer programmer at one point. I think she was a scientist at some point in another script, but I thought motivational speaker and sort of just having someone on the stage in front of the cameras and smiling while they were broken was just a really great way into this sort of story.
And Kelly and Miles, how did you both prepare for your roles after being cast in the film?
Kelly, you want to go first, or should I?
go for it. Go for it.
Preparing for me meant going to the gym a lot because of the amount of having my shirt off there is. No, I think preparation was mostly about talking through it with Kelly and Shal and figuring out how I could best support her journey, which I think is the central and most important part of the story. I think it's very important to know your context more than your character and know the overall story and what we're trying to achieve and how you can assist that. So it was mostly about talking through all that and getting a good haircut.
It was a really good haircut.
Thank you so much.
Um, yeah, I think for me, a lot of the stuff, the generational trauma stuff, the sort of complicated relationship with her parents, and then, Shal and I talked a lot about Val having like narcissistic tendencies, not really recognizing parts of herself, like gaslighting Robbie. I sort of dug into people in my life who have those sort of tendencies. Um, and also, yeah, I just, anytime you have a movie that deals with generational trauma, especially for Vietnamese people who, sort of lived through this terrible event in history, I think a lot of that is already in my DNA because of my parents and because of them escaping the war in the late 70s. But also, so much of it was just looking up stuff on the internet. Like I feel like so much of the process of preparing for anything is just soaking up things that you might be able to use. And then if the things you can't use, you just don't, but just filling my atmosphere with images and, yeah, just things that are sort of pertinent to the themes and talking through things again with Shal and Miles and sort of collaborating and finding, what each scene was about. But yeah.
Of course. And you've all worked in the horror genre prior to this film. What do you all enjoy the most about the genre? And do you anticipate working on more horror projects in the near future?
Yeah, I'll take what I really love about the genre, especially now, and I think it's been like this for a while, is that you're able to create, you have a very familiar space where people kind of understand the rules of what's going to happen, but you have a lot more freedom to get a little bit more subversive, transgressive, and introspective with your themes. That's what I really loved, especially about this film, that we can tackle all the things that Kelly is talking about without it being like this prestige drama that's 3 hours long that no one sees. Like you can get the entertainment factor, but you can also incept certain concepts into people's minds, which I really love about horror in general, which I think horror has been doing for a long time. You know, it's hard enough to get a movie made, but if you can get a horror movie made, I think you often have a better chance of getting a more complex message out than in other genres.
Yeah, horror, I think, has an incredible ability to get at something very deep and subconscious in the audience. I think fear is this kind of ineffable, uh, mysterious thing that it goes back to our evolutionary roots. And so if you can treat an audience to a feeling of fear or uh, anxiety, I think it connects to something that's very profound and very subconscious within everybody, and offers you a chance to discuss these social issues in a way that is abstract but deeply relatable. And so I love horror, and I can't wait to do more horror films.
Yes, me too. I think I have trauma bonded with horror. And I did another horror movie this past year, and it's always like while you're doing it, I think to be in the context of these situations, which are always the highest of stakes, to feel all of that is so intense. And then when you're done, you're like, I kind of want to do that again. So I think I have a trauma bonded full
Oh,
relationship with the genre.
oh, oh no.